There are still a couple of stragglers, I believe, but because time, I think we'll be starting in a few moments. Okay, perfect. So, kind reminder that this meeting is going to be recorded. So, if you want to leave your cameras on, that is fine. If you would prefer to have them off, that is fine with you as well. Okay, perfect. We'll get on. We'll get on with the lesson then. So, hello, welcome to Hour of Code. Welcome to the first session of Hour of Code in 2022 to 2023. If you have joined this workshop before, mind if you type one in the chat box. So if you have attended Hour of Code before, just type one in the chat. Okay, so that's quite a few people then. Okay. Uh, so we're going to quickly move on. Oh wow, that's a lot of people. Okay. So hello, I'm Justin. I'm going to be your instructor today. Alongside me, we have Shiloh, Murthy, and I believe Abraham's also here to help out. So if you have any questions, we will be sending a separate meet. We'll be sending a separate meet link where you could go ask them for help. You could also send any questions you have in the chat, and we'll try our best to answer them. Okay, so quick introduction. The platform that we're going to be using today is going to be Make Code Arcade, and it is a platform designed by Microsoft, which will help you build any sort of console-style game you could think of in a browser. In today's lesson specifically, we're going to be creating a CKY themed game using Microsoft Make Code Arcade. So if somebody has a link to the final product, please share, and I'll also play the demo on my screen right now. Okay, so when we st so the premise of the game is that we have to avoid the monkeys on our way to school. I think something's not working. There we go. We have to avoid monkeys on our way to school and get to the red dot at the end. And each level gets progressively harder. So you could see code will also be harder as you progress. Yeah, this is the game that we're going to be making today, and we're going to show you how to do it step by step. So hopefully you'll be able to get it. If you don't, again, there will be a breakout room for you to ask any questions to our assisting instructors. So first of all, we're going to cover what a computer program is. Now, we can use a very simple analogy of a microwave. So say there is an input on a microwave, which is the button for you to start microwaving food, right? And once you press it, there is a function that checks whether the door is closed. If the door isn't closed and the microwave starts, then it's going to cook you alive. So you would prefer if the door was closed before you start the microwave. Hence, it's going to check whether the door is closed, and if the door is closed, it's going to start the microwave. If it is not, then it's not going to let you start. Same thing goes for the closed door button on the lift. I'm sure everyone has had some frustrating experiences with this before, where there is someone obstructing the lift door and you can't press the close button. Well, in this case, it's similar. If the door is obstructed, then the lift doors closing will cause people to get hurt, right? So if you don't want that to happen, then you'll check whether the lift doors are obstructed. If they are, then the door doesn't close. If they aren't, then the door gets to close and you get to move. Now here's a brief introduction of the Microsoft MakeCode Arcade user interface. So it should be quite simple. Over here, you'll see that there are a lot of types of blocks that you can add to your game, and it should be pretty simple. You could just drag and drop them into your game, and it's mostly in English, so you should be able to understand this with relative ease. But again, if you have any questions, we will have a separate meet link for you to ask them. Now, we are going to go over something similar called something simple called procedural execution. Now, code in general runs from top to bottom and does so extremely quickly, which means that if you have a series of code, it's going to run the top one first and the bottom one next. Now, I see that quite a few of you have done this workshop before, and chances are you've also seen this exact slide before. So I'd like to ask a quick question. In this scenario, you see this block of code here. Will you see A, red, or B, yellow? I see Harley's already ahead and spamming B in the chat. Great, perfect. So it seems like everyone agrees that it's B. And if we check the demo, you can see that once we start, we will indeed see yellow. So everyone's correct. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, if we add a pause in the middle, you'll be able to see that it actually flashes red before going to yellow. So it proves that it actually does switch to red at the very start, but it does so quickly that it doesn't even register on your screen. So this is going to be the premise of coding in general. So if you have something in front, it'll run it first, and if you have something at the back, it'll run that second. Now let's start coding our first game, shall we? So today we'll be using MakeCode Arcade. I believe Shiloh has already sent a link in the chat, but mind if you do that again because of all of these in the chat. So if everyone could open MakeCode Arcade, that would be great. Okay, so here's the URL. If you click it, then you should be able to see the screen and just click new project, and you'll end up in a similar interface to the one that you see over here on mine. Now, to create a new project, all you have to do is give it a name. You can name it anything you want. I here currently have it as our code lesson 1, but you can name it whatever you want to. Now, we have a few simple concepts to go through before we start anything. So on your game, you'll see two types of objects that will display on your actual console. You'll have sprites and backgrounds. So over here, you will have a player, a monkey, and a goal. And in the back, you'll have a backdrop. So these two are the main things that are going to be showing up on your game, along with a couple of others, but we'll get into that later. Over here, you'll see that MakeCode Arcade emulates a console gaming device. So it's going to be something similar to PlayStations, Xboxes, if you've seen those, and the controls are similar. The first thing we're going to do is add a background to the game. So if you go into scene, over here, you'll see set background image 2. So if you just drag that into the game right after start, then you'll be able to customize your background. Now, of course, over here, you can edit your background to anything you like, but to save time today, I'll just be picking from the gallery. And remember, once you're done, click the Done button and not the Cross button. If you click the Cross button, none of this saves. And once we have a background, we are going to be adding a sprite to the game. So over here, you'll be able to see sprites and set my sprite to. I think we could just keep this code as is, and we're just going to go to the gallery to pick another picture. I'm going to pick this one. And this should be it. Now, we'll prefer if we can actually have the sprite move around the game because it's going to be a movable character. So over here under sprites, we want to set it to stay in the screen so that it doesn't leave. And we are going, actually, let's try without first. So we could select move my sprite with buttons, and then we could try out the game. Now over here, you'll see that there's a problem where like my sprite could actually leave the game. So once it gets past this point, it continues going and it will never come back. Which is why there is a function on the sprites that says set my sprite to stay in screen. If we paste this before move my sprite with buttons, then we should see the sprite can no longer move even if I'm continuing to press my arrow keys. So now it's your turn. Try to see whether you can emulate this code right here. And once you're done, please type 1 in the chat. If you have spare time. Oh, wow, you guys are quick. Is there anyone who's not done? If you're not done, please use the raise hand function. Like, okay, great. I'll give you a couple more minutes, and if you have, okay. If you have any questions, mind if one of the assisting instructors sent the breakout room link in the chat. Okay, so I believe we'll have to move on. If you're still not done, there is a separate Google Meet that you could join, and over here you'll be able to ask some of our assistant instructors if you are stuck anywhere. Okay, perfect. So we're going to be moving on. So now that you have the controls, we're going to start creating the monkey. Now, when we create the monkey, we're also going to be using the set sprite function, but this time we're going to be setting it to an enemy. This is because the monkey in this game is going to be your enemy, and when you touch the monkey, you will face a horrible demise. Now, in the gallery, we're also going to be picking a monkey, so I'm just going to scroll down and pick any random monkey that I see. Of course, you can customize this, but it's going to take some time, so best to do it in your own time. And then we are going to rename these sprites to something that we can more easily remember, because it's difficult to remember what my sprite 1, my sprite 2 are all going to be. So over here, I think we are going to rename our student and rename our monkey. We're going to set our sprite over here right after our student. And after that, we're going to wait for A to be pressed. When A is pressed, the game starts. And then we can see whether we could get the monkey to move. So, perfect. So if we set monkey over here, make sure it's monkey, not my sprite, not student, monkey. Velocity, velocity x. We'll set this to 0 for now, and we'll leave this at 50. We'll explain why later, but just follow this for now. And of course, similar to last time, when we press A, we'll see that the monkey starts moving all the way to the end, and it'll continue moving to the abyss until it reaches negative 1,000 something, which is why we have to include something similar to the stay on screen function. Now this time we're going to choose bounce on wall so that we could achieve the effect of the monkey. Sorry. So over here, we'll set the monkey to move from bottom to top. As you see, once it reaches the walls, it's going to bounce and move in the opposite direction. Now, we're also going to be creating a new sprite, which is a goal. So let's set a new sprite, name this one goal. And over here, I'm just going to do a quick drawing. Goal. Now, obviously, this could be far nicer than just a red rectangle, but again, we're out of time. We only have an hour, so we'll try to go through this as quickly as possible. Now, right here, we're going to go into the concept of coordinate systems. So, does anyone here know about the coordinate system, like Cartesian coordinates, or if you've heard of it, type yes in the chat. Oh, so not that many of you. Okay, so we'll still have to go through this. So this point right here, which you can see my cursor. Yeah, great. You can see my cursor. This point right here we'll call 0, 0. And when you move down, this is called the y value. And when you move across, we call this the x value. Now, the screen of MakeCode Arcade goes from 0 to 120 on the y-axis and 0 to 160 on the x-axis. So any point in the game right here can be expressed with y and x values. For example, this middle point right here is the midpoint between 0 to 120. So 120 divided by 2 is going to be 60. And 0 to 160, over here on the x-axis, the middle of that is going to be 80. So the coordinate of this is going to be 80, 60, x and y. Now, when we're setting random positions, which we might do later, it's advised that your x values range from 10 to 150 and your y values range from 10 to 110, so that your sprites don't go all the way across the end of the screen. So right now we're going to start setting positions. So I'm going to move this right here. So over here, when you go back to the sprite area, you'll be able to see set my sprite position to X and Y. Oh, I forgot to set I think we could set this new type of goal. So we could set our student to be at x equals 5 and y equals 1, y equals 60. And it should hopefully be in around this area when we start the game. And we will also set the position of goal to be on the other side. So we'll try to have x at around 160 maybe. And y is going to be at, once again, 60. So if we restart the game, this is what your game should look like. So now it's your turn. Again, we're going to go. Again, we are going to do the same. Again, we're going to do the same system where once you're done with this, type 1 in the chat. If you've been following along, then that's great. If you're just starting right now, that's also fine. I'll give everyone around 3 to 5 minutes to see where your progress lies. And if you have any questions, again, you could join the breakout room. For those of you who are done, we've also set some challenge tasks. So we have not taught this yet. We will do it later, but if you can start, if you could go ahead, that would be nice. So challenge question number 1. Can you set a timer for the monkey's movement? And, well, if you can, then just add it to your code directly. And second of all, think about the types that we've had. So far we have a player, which is your student, an enemy, which is the monkey, and the goal, which is the finish line. So why do you think we need these types? Just think about it. You can share it in the chat box as well. If you feel the need to copy any of the code, also share it right here. So far, only 5 of you have completed it. What about the others? Are you still working on it? Okay, perfect. I see a few more people finishing. Okay, perfect. So, for those of you who aren't done, we have an individual consultation link or a help link for you to ask our assistant instructors questions. If you don't have any questions and you just need a little bit more time, then feel free to maybe screen capture this, or for those of you who really find it a massive struggle, then you could just use the edit code function on this make code link that I sent just now. Perfect. Now we're going to enter stage 3. So, first of all, we're going to be defining our losing conditions. So, 1, when the timer runs out, we lose, and 2, when the monkey touches us, we also lose. Now, how are we going to do that? For the countdown, it should be simple. So, under this area right here, I think we go into info. Yeah, perfect. And over here, you'll see a countdown function. When we place this here, it's going to set a countdown for 10 seconds. So once we press play and the A button, you'll see that there's a countdown at the top of the screen. Now, this is what we're trying to emulate. So after the 10 seconds runs out, we are going to lose the game. Except I think our year 12s believe that 10 seconds is a bit too short, so we could set this to 20 seconds to make our lives easier. Now, for touching the monkey, in our sprites, we could set an overlap function. So when our player overlaps another sprite of kind goal, we should have defined this just now. If you have not defined this, then over here you should set your goal to goal. When they touch each other, you want to include this the splash text game over. So I'm just going to add this. Now, when this happens, I touch the monkey. What up? Come on, touch me. Ah, okay, I see what happened. Okay, over here you should be touching enemy, not goal. That is a mistake on my part, so let's try this again. And you'll see that when these two sprites touch, you'll see the text game over, and then you can press A to start again. Now, once this happens, you want to reset the game. Actually, let's do a demo again. So when this touches the monkey, you'll see game over. And when I press A, which is the reset button, it keeps giving me the game over screen. And that's because my player doesn't move and the monkey doesn't move. So every single time it continues touching the monkey, and you'll never be able to play the game again. Which is why over here, we'll have a reset game function. And then we'll also be deleting our sprite. So we'll destroy all sprites of counting player. So when we start again and touch this and reset the game, we'll start in our original position. Now we're also going to go into changing levels. So this part's going to be a little bit difficult. If you're already having trouble keeping up, then feel free to ask in the chat or go to our individual consultation room, which I pasted a couple of seconds ago. If not, we'll keep on going. So over here, when changing levels, there are 4 things that we want to accomplish. When we touch the goal, we want to start a new level. After that happens, our player will return to his original position. The game will tell you that the level is changing, and the next level is going to be even harder than the first one. So when changing levels, we're going to do something similar to what we did with the monkey. So we're going to do the mistake that I did just now, which is when our sprite player overlaps this time, we genuinely want goal. Then we want to reset our student's position. So I'm just going to copy this block right here and paste it in. Then we want to mess with something called variables. So we're going to make a new variable, and we're going to call this next level. Okay. And then we're going to enter it. Oh wait, no, sorry, we don't want to do this. We want to go over here. These two blocks are going to be very similar, so make sure you want to add change next level by 1 over here. Now, when you go back to the start screen, you also want to set the next level variable to 1 so that your next level is always going to be accurate. So what this does over here is that it's going to set your current level to 1. So when you reach the end of the game, it's going to tell you, okay, your next level is going to be level 2, and so on and so forth. So every single time you reach the goal, you're going to reach a new level. Now, this time, we're also going to include a splash text. It's not going to be game over this time. This time we want to inform the player that they are moving on to the next level. How do we do that? Well, we could simply type going to next level over here. But because you're all in this course, you want to learn something about coding, so we are going to be using a different function. This time, under text, which is under the extension level, we want to use the join function. Now, if we paste join over here, we could join two different variables together. So if we type going to level here and insert next level, which is your variable over here, then theoretically, when I reach the finish line, it's going to tell me, oh, you're going to level 2. So let's see whether this works. Let's play and press A. If I avoid the monkey and reach the next level, it's going to say going to level 2. Perfect. I'll also add going to level 2. Perfect. Now this part is a little bit tricky. So if you have trouble keeping up, again, we have a breakout room, and you can also ask questions in the chat, and I'm sure somebody will answer them. So functions allow you to organize your code into different parts so that you'll make mistakes less easily, and you'll not have to copy and paste code everywhere. So you could just call a function, and then it's going to make a code jump from, say, over here to a brand new function over here. Now, if we want to change levels, first thing, we want to create a function called level. So if we go into functions over here and make a function, let's call this level. Then we're going to have a very special kind of function called an if-then statement. Now, what this does is you're going to have an input and then an output. So if something equals something, then you'll jump to the next level. So in this case, if next level equals 2, then you'll go to level 2. If next level equals 3, then you'll jump to level 3. So let's do this part first. So if next level equals 2, then I'm going to create a new function called level 2. Over here, you'll see a function called call. You want to drag this in, and paste it right under here. So when next level equals level 2, then you're going to call level 2. Now, over here back to the goal block. At the very end, we want this to call the level function. What this is going to do is at the end of this, you are going to jump to this function. So every single time this bit of code runs, at the very end, it's going to jump to here, where it's going to check what your next level value is and send you to the corresponding level. So now let's customize level 2. Okay, this time we want to add 2 more monkeys. So call this monkey 2. And under gallery, again, we are going to be choosing monkey sprite and set it to an enemy. And we are also going to set another sprite. This time, let's call it monkey 3. Oh, perfect. And again, we're going to set it to a kind of enemy. This time, we're going to give them, I assume, Actually, sure. So this time, we are going to have to set each monkey's position to a different one. Now over here, you'll be able to set my sprite to, not velocity, sorry, set my sprite's position. So we'll set monkey, and I'm just going to copy the values over here because I think they've been calculated. So 46 and 82. Right, 46 and 59, sorry. $82 and $59. For monkey 3, we are going to do something kind of special. So monkey 3, we're going to set the x value to 117. The y value, we're going to do something special. So over here under maths, you should see that there is a number called pick random. So over here, we're going to let this pick a random value from negative 100 to we're going to let this pick a random value from negative 100 to 100. So what's going to happen is monkey 3, which is going to spawn somewhere around this bit, is going to spawn somewhere from negative 100, which should be all the way up here, or 100, which should be somewhere around here. And then we are going to do a similar thing with setting velocity. So we'll set monkey velocity x is once again 0 because we only want it to move in the y direction, not the x direction. And then velocity, we could also do something. We could also do something with picking random over here. So let's pick negative 100 and 100 again. And then we could do the same thing for monkey 2. And actually, we could also do the same thing for monkey 3. No, wait, no, it prefers if monkey 3 will start off with a velocity of 75. Now, the reason why this is because monkey 3 can actually spawn outside of the range of the canvas, which means you want it to be moving downwards so that it actually reaches the screen instead of moving in a random direction upwards. And then we are going to set both monkey 2 and monkey 3 to bounce on wall. So set monkey 2 to bounce on wall and set monkey 3 to bounce on wall. Why you don't need monkey 1 to bounce on wall is because over here at the very start, over here when A button is pressed, you have monkey 1 is going to bounce on the wall, so you don't need to define that again. Now, stage 3 is completed, so when we try playing this game, I'm going to press A. You'll see that we still have... I'm terrible at video games, jeez. Okay, so you'll see that once we reach the goal, we're going to reach level 2, and over here you'll have 3 monkeys moving at different speeds. And once you reach that, it should say going to level 3, assuming I could get past this level. So if you could do this on your own, that would be great. I'm going to format the code to make it a bit nicer and see whether I can put it all on one screen so that you could reference this if you need any help. If you've been following along, then that's great. And once you're done, once again, type 1 in the chat. If you aren't, then feel free to ask any questions if you have any, or, Holly, you are quick. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're always here to help. And if you just need a little bit more time, I'm going to set a timer for around 5 minutes. And we'll see how many people are done by then. One, for when you finish a level or when you lose, could you add a sound effect that corresponds to the situation? So say a happy sound when you reach the end of a level, or maybe a sadder sound of defeat when you touch a monkey. And if you're into cosmetics, you could also try changing the color of the monkeys, so you'll end up with a more vibrant end product. Wow, Harley, you are quick. Nice, good to see. Harley, I've got an extra challenge for you. This one's going to be kind of hard, so if you have any questions, feel free to send a message. But can you try adding obstacles to the course? So between each monkey, you can add a few obstacles, and if the player touches it, then he can't go through. So you have to also work around the obstacles. See if you could do that. Everyone else, take your time. I've still got around 30 seconds on the clock. If anybody still hasn't finished, please use the raise hand function if you need more time. And of course, okay. Oh no, can I ask about no? Can I ask about everyone's progress? So in the chat right now, can you put down around how many percent you are around what percent you're done with? So other than Ethan, who's not done, but I believe he's in the other breakout room. If any of you aren't done, okay, so Clarice seems to be done. So this is 5 people. If you aren't done, please also put it down in the chat. So okay, great. So we've got more people who are finishing. Jaco is not done. Okay, how about this? So nice. So if anybody needs extra help, we've got assistant instructors here to help you. And if you just need a finished product to continue working on, I'll also paste a link in the chat box. So if you need to catch up, but you don't have the time to, you could just continue working on this file that I've just posted. Now, stage 4, we're going to create one more level and then at the end of the game. So this time we're going to define a function called level 3. And because we only need 2 monkeys this time, we are going to destroy one of the monkeys. So over here, make a function. Let's call this function level 3. And then over here on the sprite, we want to destroy monkey 3 because we only need 2 monkeys here. Why, we can explain later, because this level is going to be harder than the last. Now, for the 2 monkeys, we want to see whether we can... Oh, okay. So the answer's already revealed, but for if we want the monkeys to move sideways, I'll just copy the code that I have here. So monkey 1 and monkey 2. So if I want monkey 1 and monkey 2 to also move sideways, can anyone tell me in the chat what I should do with them? Quite a few of you have done this workshop before, so you shouldn't be a stranger to this. You type numbers in both blanks, correct? So over here, instead of over here, we're going to pick random from -75 to 75 to negative to 75, so that the game is still somewhat balanced. And then we could just paste this in every single blank. So over here, you'll have a random velocity, and both of these monkeys will be moving in random directions. Now, under the function level, we are going to duplicate this block, and this time your next level is level 3. And once that happens, you want to call level 3. So I'll see whether I could get to this level. See, press A, and then get past the monkey. Perfect. Monkey. This is a bit embarrassing. Okay, perfect. So let's just assume that this code works. And if you could replicate it on your own, once again, we're going to do the same system where you type one once you're done. And I'll see whether I can make life easier for myself and see whether I could. Okay, yeah, of course Harley is done. Anybody else? For Harley, or anybody else currently who hasn't typed anything in the chat but want to try an extra bonus challenge, try creating a point system. So maybe around the map you could add maybe pieces of homework or bananas or potatoes if you want to, sure. And when the player picks them up, the player gets a point. And at the very end of the game, maybe you could display the number of points that you get. For everybody else, I'll go back to the code page. I'll move level 3 over here so everyone can see all of the new code. And again, once you're done, click 1, and I'm going to start a 5-minute timer so we don't overrun. Oh wait, we're short on time, so I'll have to move on. So we'll create level. Now, I believe there should be a level 4 somewhere. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. So now, hmm. Actually, yeah, let's put it over here. So if next level equals level 5, then over here under game, we could set game over to win, and that should be the end of the game. Now, some of you might be asking, what is level 4? Well, bonus challenge for some of you, if you've gotten used to navigating around Maycode Arcade, then maybe you'll find something that allows one of the monkeys to follow you. Now, that should be a much harder challenge game-wise, because as you can tell, I can't even get past the second level. But it should also be a little bit of a challenge coding-wise. So if you could also work out level 4, that would be great. So over here, in C, in challenge level, your challenge level is going to be adding level 4, which And your target is to 1, remove one monkey, 2, set your first monkey, so that's monkey number 1, a little bit farther away from the student. Number 3, set the monkey speed to 50. And number 4, have the monkey follow the student. For some of you, this isn't going to be a problem, but for some of you, it's going to be slightly harder. Now, I'd like to have a raise of hands. So if you have the... Okay, great. Thanks, Harley. So if you haven't completed level 3 yet, mind if you put your hand up? Ethan, no problem. Clarice. So I'll give you a little bit more time to copy this then. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I believe the breakout room is a little bit busy, but so I can also answer any of your questions if you need them. Now, I know that the ending time is also approaching, and if you aren't able to complete all of this, we could send you a I'll send everyone a copy of what the game should be, and you could always reference this code here and make the game your own. You could mess with the variables, you could add a new level, you could customize it, add obstacles, points, potatoes, whatever you want to, and just overall have fun with it. And additionally, we value everybody's feedback. So I'll also be sending a feedback form right now, which it shouldn't take too long to answer, maybe around 1 to 2 minutes. It's mostly multiple choice, so if you can provide any feedback for us when organizing subsequent workshops, that would be amazing. So once you're done with the code, and hopefully once you are also done with the feedback form, I believe you are free to leave the meet.